If Book of Stabbing and Nemesis got swapped, well, they'd have to like change the numbers too to make. I mean, as long as they change the numbers, that would be reasonable. Yeah. All right. We probably don't need to make that joke, Temoid. Talk about games and schedule stuff in the Discord, the Shadow Man. That would be a good place to talk about things related to the community but unrelated to the stream that's going on at the moment. I think we take an early barrage even with Fashan, and then we try very hard to get better at channeling Lightning and Dark Aura. Oh my gosh, we risk curses on this board. Yeah. Hey, Dr. Walk It Off. Thank you. We just skipped all of the like in-between cards. We just started building our deck to kill Reptimancer in the Heart on like floor 3. This is great. Glacier will help. We already have our focus potion and our capacitor too. This deck is like, you know, it's pretty close to killing the Heart at the moment. Maybe some other stuff would help. Some like relics, I don't know. Cat. This looks like a deck you would have built on your own. I think basically I was offered really strong cards and then clicked on them. I certainly wouldn't claim that I did particularly much to deserve to be playing this deck right now. Okay, so See, when the mods don't have to deal with you backseating, they have time to get us the good seeds. And then we get to play good runs of Slay the Spire. Ouch. Almost took 24 damage at random there. I guess I would have used the potion for it. I'll take a reinforced body. That's a block card. It's a very good block card. If you're gonna have a like standalone block card for your deck, reinforced body is certainly one you want. Oh. How do I upgrade FTL over Glacier? I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't even remember that I had upgraded FTL. Sometimes it's nice when your deck gets like a holograms going and fissions going and stuff. It draws you an extra card pretty regularly. Plus you're gonna play it every time you draw it, so it's always an extra 1 damage every time. Didn't I use fission? Was there some reason to use fission? I feel like starting with the like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I would have used fission there. Rainbow All for One and Meteor Strike. We can go Rainbow. Gives us a Dark Orb for the Act 2 boss fight, which is like the next time we are in danger, probably. I wonder if Inserter just wins. I also sort of wonder if Frozen Core just wins. It's like a really good Frozen Core. What makes Frozen Core so good? We have a ton of damage. It's a relic that defends, but our deck is way better at attacking than it is at defending, I think. We have... I mean, it's gonna make a Frost Orb for us for the first 4 or 5 turns of a lot of fights, with Fission evoking our orbs, Capacitor giving us more slots. And we're not that good at making Frost Orbs yet. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Big J Wing. This turn is why Frozen Core would be good. Maybe I should have just used my potion here. I probably want to use the focus potion at some point, right? Because my slots are sort of locked otherwise. Elixir. Turn 1 is just so bad. Perhaps another defragment plus will help. I wish I had a Frozen Core right now. Should have just trusted me. Consume was nice? No. No, consume is not the problem this deck has. Uh-oh. I don't think I use my potions. It's a bit awkward. Zephyr, you make so much noise when you use that. Oh. Zephyr is just the loudest cat. I don't know, let's use this. Frozen Core! Frozen Core, you were the chosen one. Good work, Cafe. Like, I mean... What is my cat doing that makes so much noise? Is Zephyr practicing for a band? Yep. Got it on your first guess. Zephyr and the Meows. Why creative AI? We're already strong enough on turn 5. I think we can get away with adding it, and it does some stuff in some fights still, especially with the heat sinks and a mummified hand. If you get to play it for free, creative AI can be stronger before turn 5. Why did I skip question card? Because I took that blue key so that I could go to Act 4. Just the other thing seemed better. Thanks for gifting the sub. Agbomo show to you as well. Nice. Why is the key better than question card here? Because my deck has a bunch of really good cards already. Reducing the need for more really good cards. Defect doesn't usually solve turn 1 problems with cards. Defect usually solves turn 1 problems with relics. Like that one. Chandro. 87 gold for relic isn't cheap enough. How did I decide to get rid of the upgraded FTL rather than just pay for it? The thing you care about is whether upgraded FTL is worth 87 gold. Has nothing to do with how much the relic is worth. You are asking whether I would rather have an FTL upgraded in my deck or 87 gold, and at the moment I'd rather have 87 gold. Let me just do this. Probably just do this. I regret nothing and also everything. Nice. There you go. All right. All right. Now we're talking. Finally one good relic. Gosh. Took such a long time. Why no self-repair bird face turn synergy? What's the synergy? Self-repair heals for 2? I'm not sure there is a synergy there. What were you meowing for if you didn't want to say hi? I don't understand. I don't understand, cat. Can't you get a self-repair with creative AI? If you could get a self-repair with creative AI, then even if you didn't have bird face turn, every single fight would be this. You just like have to wait for self-repair every time. It would take way longer. Sure. Okay. Well, this is quite silly. Are we scared of a weakened one? Our powers are like mostly defrag plus, which is actually pretty good to play against a weakened one, so I don't think we're too worried. Jorbs News Network has not reported on the issue of why I'm allowing backseating. Get in touch with the journalists. What a great excuse to check Twitter while you're working. Like, yeah. Alright. Why do I have such good relics? I don't know. I don't really understand. Whetstone's not that good. Yeah. I mean... in fairness, Whetstone... I also Cracked Core, like, you start every run with that one, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like such a big deal, really. Is backseating encouraged? You can do whatever you want. Anything that you would desire. Do we care what the enemy is doing? We care about energy. We might care about energy so little that we just take empty cage. I don't know, there have been a couple of times where a fourth energy would have made a difference, but this is probably fine. Sure. I'm glad I saved Pendib for that. Time zombie. My empty cage over Black Star, because I don't want to draw strikes. Is gold that valuable? It has nothing to do with gold. Right? Neither of the options had anything to do with gold. One of them removed cards and the other one gave us more relics. The first boss is Donu Deka. Do I have to play Barrage first? Who knows? It's impossible to say, right? It's impossible to say. Yeah, if there's any reasonable criticism of Defect, I think how important focus is probably it. Focus is definitely very important for Defect. I think it's less important on lower difficulty though, for what it's worth. Duplication Potion is better than Power Potion maybe right now. These are actually pretty good potions, aren't they? Capacitor Potion is fine here. We like Capacitor Potion here. Am I for or against killing the mains at the end of the fight if not needed? Contentious issue. Very contentious issue. Hard one to give a simple answer for, right? You gotta think about, like, if you leave those minions alive, are they going to live an okay life? Depends. Are they, like, crippled and in pain? You might wanna just end things for them if that's the case. I see that someone has presented a, like, somewhat silly ethical problem, and Twitch chat has jumped on the opportunity to share as many terrible ethical takes as possible. Do they just, like, sit around in your stomach waiting to come out, and then someone's like, the word ethics, and then you're like, you just, like, vomit them like a projectile thing at the person? And how it works. projectile ethics all over everyone in the immediate vicinity. What's the most expensive relic? All of the rare relics cost the same amount. There's just like a little bit of randomness on how much it's going to cost this time. But the range of values that they can be are all the same. Feels like Force Field probably costs 0 pretty quickly, doesn't it? Feels like Darkness is really good damage. I'll just take Force Field. 10 minutes ago you passed your business ethics course. Did you feel like they were actually teaching you ethics in any way? I mean, I guess I'm interested. 'Cause they teach that? Do the people who run businesses take that course? Just surprised, I guess. Play Frogmite. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Gosh. I think that reference is almost older than I am. Thanks for the 23 months, Rob. Agbomo to you as well. Those classes talk about Enron and then cover vague topics. You took an ethics class and it boiled down to there are a lot of theories and it's really, really hard to say what's actually correct. Isn't it like... I mean, okay, maybe, sort of, but isn't it also just incredibly, incredibly easy to say what's correct a lot of the time? Isn't that like the beauty of ethics? Like the reason that the systems are a little bit confusing is that sometimes a system will say something that doesn't quite sit well with a lot of people, but for a ton of things it's just like, oh yeah, like obviously. There are ethical dilemmas which exist, but those are interesting because most of the time ethics is really fucking simple. You don't think so? Alright. Apparently Twitch chat doesn't think so. Ethics gets complicated as a psychologist, sure. So you're thinking about the sorts of things that we talk about that are difficult and like in ethics and stuff, right? Because those are the things that maybe come up in classes and stuff because they're complicated. Like your interpersonal relationships with strangers in a professional setting might have complicated ethical fallout. The stuff like you've had a kid, do you care for the kid? Like, I don't think that anybody really works that out by appealing to their system of ethics. I think it's just like, oh yeah, that's pretty fucking obvious. And I think there's a tremendous amount of the human experience which is just like, oh yeah, that's pretty fucking obvious. People do adopt. Adopting also seems pretty fucking obvious. I don't know. We did not draw electrodynamics. It caused for some minor concern. Lightning orbs bailed us out though. That was nice. Yeah, I don't think like immigration policy is one of the things that that is simple in ethics. Like, do you understand my point? I don't go around about my life on a day-to-day basis in a way that involves immigration policy a huge amount. I like wake up, have breakfast, hang out with my cats and my partner. I have worked out how to treat my partner without it being particularly difficult or like intellectually challenging for me to work that out. It's just like, oh yeah, you are a human being. I basically understand how to treat human beings, etc. Gyarados is my breakfast ethical. I try to consume food in a way that I think is ethical, which has generally not seemed all that complicated to me. I'm an immigrant isn't my whole life deeply influenced by immigration policy. I mean, slightly more than people who aren't immigrants, but it doesn't really affect my day-to-day very much at all. I would say that eating meat when you can reasonably not is unethical. Sure. I mean, yeah, like, that's somewhat true. I don't understand why this is such a complicated... I don't understand. I don't understand, chat. A lot of things are obvious because they are ingrained, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are ethical. I think my understanding as a classicist who has studied philosophy and ethics, actually a fairly large amount in my life, is that the beginning concept of ethics is that there is like a thing that is true and meaningful in a like innate way that like you just sort of get. And the point of an ethical system is to try to flesh that thing out, right? And so if ethics are regularly like really being very confusing to you and not making sense, I think my takeaway would probably be that your ethical system is weird. Like it's not maybe the right one for you or something. I'm not saying that everybody should even have the same ethical system. I'm just saying like in general, I think making ethical actions according to what you believe to be ethical is not meant to be a thing that requires a great amount of effort. I think drinking every time the word ethical is said is probably not ethical at this moment. Probably too much harm. Should have seen your marketing class. Apparently all that matters are shareholders. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why I asked about business ethics. Because I don't know. I don't know about business ethics. When I think about people who are born broken with no sense of morality or ethics, I think that's really complicated. I don't think ethics is always super easy and straightforward and coherent and intuitive to people. I think that there are situations which are complicated to most people because like what they're used to and like attuned to in day-to-day life doesn't really fit with this thing, and also there are people for whom there just aren't great I don't know, for whom it's harder to feel a certain way about a decision, about whether it's right or wrong. But I think that like the norm is that it's actually pretty easy. Well, good fight. This one was definitely not a weakened one. Playing Bioscog? I mean, I just didn't think through whether I had an artifact charge or not. It's not like we need to play it. It's not like it changes the fight in any way, right? One of those press E to E kind of fights. Rowan address. Thanks for the 4 months. Lomo show to you as well. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Mooman. Mostly. I agree, obviously. That was always the test for us when we were learning ethics, was like we were like presented an ethical system or whatever, whether it was like Aristotle's take on what's the word he uses? Excellence. Is it in Greek? I don't remember. Or whatever. The question of inquiry was sort of like, does this make sense to you? Does that sound right? Because there isn't a great other way to test an ethical system. I'm not ignoring Pen Nib. I have one Go for the Eyes, which I intend to play another 7 times. Can I play Barrage here? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to get it that many times. Yeah, we did the same thing with Kant and Hume and Hobbes and blah 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 blah. Zoe, how you doing? I liked Plato's, was the Republic, right? The one where he talked about the city. That was the most compelling work about life that I read. I really want to be a shoemaker in the city, in Plato's little republic. Maybe the, like, not all of the details were quite right and everything, but I just really felt like it would be cool to chill out and make shoes for my entire life in a city where, like, I was empowered to do that. True, KB. Obviously, when you read something from 2,000 years ago, it doesn't really work if you expect it to apply perfectly in every way in modern context. And also, yeah, like, the classics are not a great place to find useful instruction on, like, gender rights or how to treat people different from you, or etc, etc, etc. But a lot of this stuff translates fairly well still. Isn't Skim good? Skim was probably okay if we didn't draw heat sinks early, yeah. We don't have that much energy. I don't know. I don't know how good Skim would have been there. If only I had played one more attack, I wouldn't have taken 19 damage here. Less than 19. Cool. Well done. Let's go duplication potion on loop, I think, actually. Yeah, I want to play Fission and then Glacier. That was the idea. That way I'm going to have a Frost Orb in front. And the double loop gets to actually do something. And now I will win. When I feel ashamed for this treatment of the heart, I feel okay about it. I sleep all right at night. One hour and 4 seconds. Rough.